Good morning.
I'm Landis Falcon, Director of Economic Development, and I am proud to have the honor of welcoming you this morning to a fantastic announcement about a fantastic project. It's a beautiful day in the city of Petersburg. Mr. Johnson?
Good morning.
Good morning.
No. I know it's raining, but let's do that again. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Welcome to the great city of Petersburg. And I'm William Edward Johnson III, the city manager of this great city. And I bring you greetings on behalf of the mayor and council. And since they're standing here this morning, let me make sure I make the introductions. We have our mayor, W. Howard Myers. We have Councilman Darren Hill. We have our Vice Mayor, Sam Powell. We have Councilman John Hart. And we have over 635 great city employees, and to our businesses, welcome. It is indeed an honor today to stand before you and truly a joy to make this announcement right before the Christmas holidays. For too long, Petersburg has had an empty exit 52. And now our residents, our visitors will be able to come and shop, eat, do business, have fun. But when it's time to stay overnight, we're at a disadvantage. Our neighbor localities will benefit from the hard work of everybody on this project to make it happen in the Tri-Cities area. So today's announcement is something very special and long overdue for the entire city of Petersburg. It is a testament to the policy set forth by our mayor and council, to the strategic plan set forth by mayor and council. Economic development is job one. We continue to say that Exit 52 is the front door to Petersburg, to the Tri-City region, and a lot of times we say it's the front door to the Commonwealth of Virginia. So I'm excited to make this announcement right here before Christmas. It's a little gift, as well as it tells us we're going to have an outstanding 2016. It is indeed the first impression for our residents, our visitors, when they come to town. We've been plagued with closed hotels, vacant buildings, and poor representation of this great city. So how did we get here today? For the last 18 months, we had a comprehensive review team consisted of our Deputy City Manager, Mr. Irvin Carter, our EDA Chairman, Mr. Robert Smith, Economic Development Project Manager, Reginald Tabor, and Beverly Bailey and Tom Rossman with Icon Realty, a part of our real estate team. We reviewed plans and potential development for this location. We wanted a developer that outlined a plan that fit into the current plans of the city and not only the vision of the city. The team was looking for a developer that understood the history and where we were going and what does it mean to be I Am Petersburg. So I'm excited today to stand here to announce the final selection of this process was the C.A. Harrison Companies, LLC, out of a few miles up the road in Bethesda, Maryland. They've done projects in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Richmond, Virginia, Washington, D.C., and now they'll be here in Petersburg, Virginia. Mr. Christopher Harrison and his team really understood who Petersburg is, who Petersburg will be, and I Am Petersburg. Their vision for this location pairs perfectly with the current I Am Petersburg campaign. It incorporates a lot of different facets into one cohesive plan. This project is a mixed-use development that would indeed boost the local economy, bringing visitors, and I want to emphasize, lodging, new retail, exciting dining, and residential units on our front door. With this project, it is our goal to continue to build opportunities for our local public schools, colleges, and introduce hospitality and tourism experience for them. And most importantly, create local jobs and a hands-on experience. I'd like to now invite the developer, Mr. Christopher Harrison, to the podium to give an in-depth detail on this project. Again, we are very excited to announce this project, which is a huge win for our city and the entire region. I look forward to, in a few months from now, no pressure, Chris and your team, but for the ribbon cutting. And to the mayor and members of council, I just want to say we have a laser focus on economic development, and we're moving this city forward. So I thank all of you for coming out today. And as I said a few minutes ago in our staff meeting, it was going to stop raining at 10 o'clock. So Mr. Chris Harrison, come on up.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. I am Petersburg. We are Petersburg. When Mr. Johnson first told me about this project, it was proposed to me as a hotel project. But when I took a look at the site, its proximity to Exit 52, the land that was around it, it was obvious to me and my development team that we needed to come up with not just a hotel project, but a project that became the gateway for the city of Petersburg, to define the new Petersburg. I am Petersburg. And what we came up with was this mixed-use development that will encompass a new limited service Class A hotel, 125 rooms, 100 units of residential housing, and then about 20,000 square feet, give or take, once we get to the final plan, of retail, so that you have a gateway to the new Petersburg. And the beauty of this project is that it will not only encompass the new Petersburg, but the old Petersburg. Everybody, all citizens, will be welcome and be a part of this project through the development process, through its stabilization, and for years to come. When people look back at the transformation that's about to happen to the city, and they say, what was the project that really kicked it off? What was the project that defined, the beginning of this revolutionary renaissance for Petersburg? They're going to point to this project. They're going to point to a new Exit 52. They're going to point to a partnership of the city, of the university, Virginia State, and the state of Virginia in making this project a success. We are very, very excited to get this project kicked off. We've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes with Mr. Johnson and Dr. Falcon and Economic Development. I can't thank them enough with all the time and effort that we put in this project. And we are ready to get this thing kicked off in 6 months. That may sound ambitious, but that's the way we like to roll. And so I'm going to let my architect, Lee Shadball from Commonwealth Architects, give us a little synopsis of how the site is laid out. And I look forward to working with the city. I'm happy to be here. I'm a native of Virginia, University of Virginia graduate, and I'm proud to be part of I Am Petersburg.
Well, thank you, Chris. You're making me nervous. I got 6 months to do it, and I got to do a presentation on in the middle of the rain. You know, in the NFL, they play outside in the rain. I wasn't sure what was going to happen with this presentation. I'm glad to see the tent, though. If I can, I'd like to just walk you through a little bit of our design and some of the process. And this is a very, very important project because it is the gateway to Petersburg. There's some great things that have been going on here for quite a while. But if your front door doesn't look good, the projects and everything going beyond it just kind of takes a second seat. But it's great to be able to put kind of a shining light right here at the front door at our gateway, and that's what we'll do. So behind us, right over here, is where we're looking at expanding the retail, kind of redoing that building as a single-story building, still keeping the visibility from 95 and on Washington coming down the road, but also behind us here to fill out the rest of the streetscape. There's missing teeth, and I think that was one big thing that Chris and I have worked together before on, and that is that the big picture of what do we need to do, and it's not just the hotel project, it's doing the right thing for the parcel. So Chris acquired the other parcels to kind of fill in the puzzle that goes around us. And then also working with the structure that's right behind you. It's great to be able to have the rendering right here and a view from almost where the rendering stands. You know, that's the viewpoint for this rendering right here. We've reconfigured the whole site, and it wasn't an easy site to work with. There's a 45-foot, you know, drop between Washington and Wythe Street, and you know, it's like there's a lot to deal with there. The other thing is that the market study came back, and the hotel was too much for the market. So what we've done is, this is actually a 12-story building. It's 3 stories that are kind of engaged in the ground and 9 stories above. So we're pulling 2 stories off the top of it, and then we are reskinning the whole building. What we've looked at is what the industry standards are for hotels, and the building needs to be a little bit wider, so we have additions that are going on either side of it. And you can see there's kind of bump outs. You know, that was the original width of the building. We're adding 2 or 3 feet on it to be able to meet current industry standards for hotels. And that allowed us to, just gave us complete flexibility with the facade to, you know, to bring that to a new image. We've also introduced an exciting glass and aluminum and steel canopy right here on axis with the entry. And then we've introduced a lot of brick because it's Petersburg, and red brick is, you know, that's us. This is, you know, it needs to fit in. It can't just be the drive-it building that we have there, and also the international style. This is modern as opposed to the ribbon windowed international style building. The other thing that we've done is by reducing the total room count, it allowed us to take the upper level of the parking off and reduce that. We still make all our parking counts for all the mixed use building. We have parking on other portions of the site. Over to the left, in front of, you know, in back of the retail, but also in back of the residential buildings, which are on Wythe Street. And those buildings will be podium buildings, which means there's parking underneath them, and 4 stories of, you know, stick-built wood frame residential market rate apartments behind them. So I think that's the overall plan. We've worked hard to be able to integrate the retail into the architecture of the hotel, so that again it's you know, it's the total environment as opposed to a single building.
One of the things about the retail that I'd like to mention, and I'm glad that the proprietors of the restaurant are here, we have a soft commitment from Mama J's out of Richmond to bring a retail location. They will be catering lunch after this presentation, so you can taste some of their fare, but I'm really, really excited to have a local restaurant taking part in this project. So thank you, Lester and Mrs. J, for coming out.
Before we close it out and take a ride down on our, I believe the trolley is coming. We're gonna go out and have some appetizers over at our lovely Dogwood Trace Golf Course in our new clubhouse. But we will take a few questions before we close it out, if there are any questions.
This is right along 95. Can you talk about what you think the future will hold when it comes to getting people to stop here in Petersburg?
Well, I would tell you, it's going to be lit up, and so folks will stop. If you go anywhere from Richmond all the way down 85 to Atlanta, or you go 95 to New York, where it's lit, they stop.
There's 125,000 cars that pass by this site every day. That's an enormous amount of traffic. And you have 2 major intersections of 95 and 85 that intersect right at exit 52. So that's a tremendous amount of traffic, tremendous amount of visibility. And when we finish building this thing, they will see, trust me.
What's the cost of the project? What kind of jobs numbers are we talking about?
The cost is approximately $12 million for the hotel portion, and will create 121 jobs.
Well, you have this presentation online. You were giving us some
We'll eventually set up a development website that will give you updates and keep you informed about the progress of the project.
One more question. Can you go into more detail about what you're going to do on 52 at the Alpha Expressway?
We're working with the state now and the Secretary of Transportation to reconfigure and beautify, do some hardscape for Exit 52 so that it is truly a gateway for Petersburg.
So that will be included in
We hope it to be, yes.
But let me add, the city in conjunction with the Cameron Foundation, we're going to redo the bridge. It's going to be renovated. It's going to give you that wow factor. So when you come in at night, it'll be lit up. It's about $1.5 million project that the city is partnering with the Cameron Foundation to really make Exit 52 look good. And we've also, as a part of our legislative packet to our General Assembly members that are here today, I just want to pass this on. We have a request of $1.5 million to help enhance this project as well as improve the landscaping of Exit 52.
One more thing. There's a press release. Michael Stein, one of my associates with Commonwealth Architects, has copies of the press release, and I think we have these online. But
Will the hotel carry a known flag or will it be an independent flag?
There will be a known flag. And that'll be announced within the next week or so. We're finalizing the documents on that now.
anything to be done on the hotel across the street?
I'm not part of that project.
That property was purchased earlier this year at an auction from an investor out of New York. Ms. Falconer and her team are trying to coordinate with that investor because he clearly made it clear that he's an investor, not a developer. So we're going to make sure we continue to move that project forward along with the other projects here in the city.
And if they're looking for a developer, tell them to call.
Hey, Mr. City Manager, you were talking about the fact that a lot of people come here to do other things, then they leave. Do you guys have any idea what kind of economic impact this will have when people come and they stay here?
I cannot give you an exact number, but what I can tell you, film companies, real estate developers, visitors, a lot of people right here in this audience are members of organizations. They want to have their events here in Petersburg. They have them, they go home. VSU Homecoming, Richard Bland basketball team, the Petersburg Revolution, the Petersburg Generals. In 2017, I believe my date is right, we'll host again the women's CIAA softball tournament. Hopefully next year we'll host the men's CIAA softball tournament. VSU is building a 6,000 seat convocation center. It's a host of opportunities, not alone the spill-off for events happening in the city of Richmond. And with Mama J's in the restaurant, we're going to get a lot of folks coming in to eat, and hopefully they'll continue to spend the night.
Do you anticipate this project to be phased over time? Do you have a timeline for the project once it starts?
Yes, well, first we want to complete the hotel and actually be within, if we break ground in June, we hope to have it finished in 12 months. Next will be the residential, which should follow six months after that. And then finally we'll do the retail pads and hopefully get those done within, say, 12 months after completion of the hotel. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming out, and again, we look forward to meeting all of you at the golf course, and we really appreciate the opportunity to be here.
And I'm going to do this myself.